crafty friends, it's Sharon Luska here from My Crafty Greetings, and I am doing a video today for Scrappy Tails Crafts. And I know that I had done this before, where I had done a card and done some assorted leaves die cuts out of Nina Solar White paper, where I had taken the watercolors and just kind of sponge swirled them all over the paper, and it makes a nice gradient, and it's just a great way of getting some fast color down. I'll link that video at the end so that you can see in depth a little bit more of this process here. But I'm going to be pulling that swirly vine out of the assorted leaves set. That was what you saw there, and I have a piece of acetate here. I've got those leaves all die cut out, and I want to just lay them in kind of a rainbow pattern over top of this acetate. I'm trying to hide the stems a little bit. I want them a little less prominent, and I'm not worried whether I'm hanging out over the edges of my acetate or not, because you're going to see in a little bit. We're going to be doing a very different technique with this, maybe something that you might like to try in the next card that you do. And you can do this technique with acetate or vellum, whatever you choose, but I'm using acetate today because I want to make sure that what I do is very visible. So now that I've got those all kind of arranged here and sorted out the way I want, trying to space them out so that they look pretty and kind of well placed on the front of this card, I'm going to get myself a little bit of stretch and seal, I think it's called. So I know most people do not have protective carpet runner, but protective carpet runner you can use as well. And if you have a dollar store, you can also get the clear Mac tack from the dollar store. If you take it and stick it to your pants first, you can do the same technique as I'm doing here, where you stick these all in position. You're basically freezing them in position so that you can flip them off, and not flip them off the bad way, haha, but you can flip them off, that was naughty of me, and turn them over to get some glue on them. So anyways, I'm using Mono Multi, the Tombow Mono Multi. It is the best thing to use if you're going to be sticking anything shiny to paper. So if you're sticking shiny acetate to paper, this is going to be the thing that is best suited to grabbing onto that particular shiny surface like acetate. So I'm lining it up here. Now I'm actually holding, I had taken and folded some corners onto this piece so that it almost had a type of wraparound to it, and I'm going to recommend that you don't do that, but you're going to see this in the card that I've got here. And I'm also pushing those down quite firmly to make sure that they get some good adhesion. Now I was a little bit impatient. I only gave this a few minutes to dry. I would definitely recommend you giving it longer to dry than I have given. But definitely fold your whatever it is you're using to put this in place. For me, it's the stretch and seal, or press and seal, sorry, that's what it is, press and seal. For me, it's the press and seal. And if you fold it right back on itself and then just carefully kind of roll it back off, you will avoid ripping any of those delicate pieces. So I went ahead and die cut myself a whole pile of hearts out of adhesive backed foam. And this, I wanted to be a bit of a masculine I love you card, so that's why I was doing this. There you can see that little lip that I had folded, and I'm just going to say do a flat cut slightly smaller than the width of your card, and make sure that you put some of your elements, your foam elements, close to the edge to hold that down so that it's not flapping around on the front of your card. So anyways, I'm going to get these all stuck into place, and I am specifically looking to have these hearts peek through all of those colorful rainbow vines. This is the look that I'm looking for. So I'm basically telling you, let your adhesive show, ladies, let that foam show. Put it in a position where it's adding an element to your card. I originally had thought that I was going to leave it on the black cardstock, and once I put the white behind it to show it to you, that was it. I changed my mind and decided that's what I'm going with. I just decided here too, it's good to double check your work, and I realized we needed one more little heart here to make sure it had some continuity. So I've got the Sweet Bear stamp set. I love this stamp set. we're going to be finishing the inside of the card as well today. So that's why the big stamp's already out of there. But I love you XOXO is going to be stamped on the front of the card. Now I've already used an anti-static powder pouch, and I'm just getting this all juiced up with a little bit of Versamark. I always find that if you take Versamark and you press it down firmly and hold it for a few seconds, I feel like it gives it time to grab the paper, and it gives you a much better coverage. So you can see how nicely that stayed on there without any extra little bits of foofers or anything like that. So I'm setting that there just to make sure that it cools down before I add my stuff, and I'm giving myself a second look of my original idea with the black foam floating behind the leaves over the black paper, and it looks very cool, but you guys can't see it very well, and I think that I like it better with the white paper. So I'm just going to get this white paper stuck in here. There we are with the element. Now the other thing I'm doing too is I'm also tucking, these are, they're not rhinestones, they're kind of like silver pearls that I picked up somewhere. They're quite cool, and they're pre-stickied on the back, so I cut a bunch of them up because they come in like a big line. So I just take the scissors and snip them all, and then I put them all on my fingers so that I've got a place to pick them from. And I'm just taking my little tool. It's a pointy tool, but if you've got a pokey tool, that'll work as well. And I'm just kind of sneaking them in behind. I wanted this to look quite trendy and quite youthful, something that looks really cool. Just getting rid of that extra powder too, now that I know for sure that's completely cooled down. And then here's my big mistake. Since I have to wrap the one end around, I don't know why I was thinking that I would go ahead and put my ATG on the back of this panel first, because it's done nothing but create a problem for me. And I needed to put some tape on that lip so I could tape it to the back of that panel, so you can see that tape there where I'm wrapping it around. And again, this is where I'm telling you, don't do the wraparound thing, just cut your adhesive, or not your adhesive panel, your acetate panel slightly smaller than the width of this cardstock here. So I've got it taped on the one side, I've flipped it back, and I'm going to use some more of my mono multi glue because I'm gluing foam, which is a non-absorbent surface again, to paper. So this is the right kind of glue to do that. Anytime you're going to stick something like that to paper, you want to make sure that you use something that has a residual tack to it. And that's why when the mono multi is used, it's sticky after it's dry, and that's because it gives a cushioned adhesive, almost like tape, in between those layers, whereas if it completely dried, then it would be able to peel off of anything foamy or glossy. So I'm trimming up the tape here to make sure that it fits. I'm just double checking my alignment and squishing everything into place, and now I'm going to wrap that end. And you can see that it's wrapped a little bit wider than the white panel itself. I'm just going to add a little extra ATG to make sure that it sticks down really well, and I do want to make it go the right way. So line that up, and I'll give it some good pressure to stick it down. So now you can see all those hearts and the vines hovering above them, and the nice shine of that glossy acetate. Put a little pressure on it to make it stay put. I noticed a couple extra spots too where we needed a couple more of those silver balls, and we're gonna have to put a piece on the inside because this is a slimline card, and being all black, that would not give a great opportunity for somebody to go ahead and write a message. So I've got a piece of paper just cut slightly smaller. This is a Nina Solar White 80-pound piece of paper. And then I have a piece here that's left over from the original card. I had made some rainbow strips out of the leftover little bits of cardstock, and I'm just going to go ahead and put some art glitter glue that I'm putting on the back of here. And what I've done is actually laid all of those little bits of paper that I had salvaged from cutting out my leaves. I just laid it all on a piece of label sticker sheet and cut them all into strips. Again, if you want to go back to that other video, you'll see it. So this is a fabulous, this is my favorite stamp. Just a little reminder that you are loved. It is the best sentiment, and that is Sabrina, the owner of Scrappy Tails Crafts handwriting. Just gorgeous. And I think it's probably going to be one of my most used sentiments, because who doesn't need a message like that, especially right now. So I also cut myself out a frame. It's from one of the detail pieces from the 5x7 pop-up box die set. And what I did was took the layering piece and taped it together with the detail piece to get this beautiful silver frame. Plus I've got a really incredible silver detail piece now. And then I used the layering piece, which was perfectly sized for that little sentiment. They just go so perfectly together. So I'm just gonna add a little ATG on this and get it all lined up in here. This assorted leaves die set from Scrappy Tails Crafts is absolutely amazing. I've done a number of videos and hopefully you'll check them out. Jennifer McGuire also used the set just recently in one of her videos. And if you check in my drop down box, that will take you with my affiliate links to Scrappy Tails Crafts. And hopefully you're going to give this technique a try. You can punch out any shape, any color of foam, whatever you like. Use vellum, use acetate. Just get crafty, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment, and thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye! Just a quick flash alert, there is a sale at Scrappy Tails Crafts right now for 10% off. I will leave the information in my drop down box and in my comment pop-up. Here are those extra videos I thought you should check out.